Hi y'all, it's you, Star Goddess. I'm back. So I want to talk to you today about darkness and light after death. Now, I know a lot of people will say, oh, go into the light, or oh, don't go into the light after you die. Supposedly there's a big light where in many books it says angels or relatives are waiting in a tunnel, and then there's light and this and that. And a lot of people who have had after-death experiences or near-death experiences will say there's a tunnel. Some say that there's like evil things grasping at them and fire. So basically, when you pass, when you die out of your physical form, it's all in what you believe. Okay, this is the most important thing to remember. You create that after. Okay, if you believe that there's a heaven and there's a tunnel of light with angels and stuff like that, if you've been told that, if that's been reiterated to you in media, in movies, in stories, in books, and you've read that, it's been supplanted into your subconscious mind, that's what you're gonna see. Okay, and that's what you're gonna see. And then when you get there, you go down the tunnel, your creation that you created in your mind is going to continue. So if you die and you feel like you deserve to go to this bright place in the sky with clouds and pearly gates, and there's a line and people are getting rejected like a club, and you feel like you deserve to get in, and you get in, and there's nothing but like angels and heavenly choirs and gemstones and diamonds everywhere, you know, that's okay. So you don't want to go into the bright light after death, because if you go into the bright light, it is something that you created. It's like heaven. It's like everything in the clouds, perfect vision. And then once you get used to that, once you get bored about that, you're gonna be like, this can't be it. This really can't be it. Okay, I've been duped. Oh my gosh, now what? Do I just sit in here every day and just chill and watch these people sing in the choir? Okay, I'm bored. No one wants to be in church every day. Okay, so that's how you know that heaven is not real. Heaven is a detour. Okay, once you figure out you've been duped, now you're gonna be like, oh my God, now what? This is not it. So you're like, you know what? I want to go back. I want to start over. I don't want to learn this because this was a trick. You're gonna be mad, and when you come back, you're probably gonna come back into a family that's gonna wake you up, or into a life that you're going to get consciously awoken, and it's not going to be geared towards religion. So when you come back, you'll get to learn more, you'll get the knowledge, and you'll say, okay, well, that's not the way, so let me explore this spiritual path, and let me say, let me learn more, let me read the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, let me read this, let me read that, because that wasn't it, y'all. That was not it. So the next time you die, you say, okay, now I know what to do. I've read the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. In the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, let me tell you what they say. He says, before you die, or before you part this earth or something. I'm paraphrasing, y'all. Before you die, imagine your soul is like in your stomach, and it's rising like through your spine, up, through your chakras. And it says, pause when you get here to your third eye, and say out loud or in your mind consciously, I'm taking all the knowledge, all the wisdom, and everything that I've learned, and all my memories with me as I part. And then go out at the top of your head and go into the darkness. It doesn't go into the light. So when you go into the darkness, you're becoming part of the source energy. You're becoming part of the unseen, the omnipotent, the all. Okay, that's what you're becoming part of. You're not going to this tunnel of angels and lights and heaven and saying, oh, come here, bright, shiny, yes, come here, distraction. You're not going to that distraction. You're going to the real source. Okay, heaven is a place where you have a line outside of a gate. That sounds like a club, and it's very exclusive. And if you ever see pictures of heaven that have been painted, or you don't see too many different people there. It's like all one group. So it's not very diverse there. So when you go into the darkness, you're becoming part of the source, and you're getting that power. you're getting that knowledge from the source. That's why when a lot of people come back and they reincarnate, because you will get bored of being source. That's how this universe began, because we need to experience ourselves outside of a whole. So that's what we are. We are perceptions and points of views of the source. So when you get bored of being like the source, you come back to earth as well. And this time you come back with the knowledge. That's why you see a lot of people start their path off real quick, because they're like hitting the ground running from their last lifetime. They say, well, how do you know all this? How do you know all this? It's natural because you took it with you. And you know this. And when you hear it again, it's like you're remembering it. It's not like you're just learning it. Like all this stuff that I learned or remember, it's like, it's very familiar. Like I've already known this. For some reason, it feels super familiar. And like if you go back to the story of Isis and Osiris and how he was like cut up into a bunch of pieces by his brother, and she had to put him back together, and then he became god of the underworld. That's also a metaphor for remembering. Like when you remember, you put something back together, you're putting a member back together. Like, so she was remembering, and him being god of the underworld is the subconscious mind, or the all-knowing mind. Okay, so that was part of her that was put in the background, and then she became like, the person that could conceive of that, bring the consciousness, the subconscious and the conscious together to make the child. It's like the Holy Trinity in the Egyptian story. So the Holy Trinity was her, which is Aset originally, and then it was Heru, and Heru was like the consciousness, the child, like the Jesus figure almost. Sorry y'all, I'm having trouble with my camera. So yes, the consciousness that is born out of the subconscious and the conscious mind, they call it now the Christ consciousness, but it's also called, the third eye, ascension, this is that. There's so many names for it. So yes, when you take your knowledge with you, when you go into the darkness, the underworld, when you come back, you got all this stuff in your head, you have a consciousness, you have this knowledge about you, and everything comes easily. It's like you've already read it before, you're just remembering it. And that way you can, start your path and continue on your journey of learning and teaching. Because some people, they just have the hardest time because they haven't learned it yet in a previous life. They have not learned it yet. They're just like, that's why you can't wake some people up in this lifetime, because it's not their time. They have to go and experience the matrix heaven first. And they have to come back and they have to say, man, that was not it. I am so sorry to tell you. So they're automatically going to be deterred from the church or religion. They're just not going to have any interest in it, no matter how hard it's pushed on them. If you know someone like this, or if you're like this yourself, you're going to understand. You're going to be like, well, my mom was a Christian, but there was no way I was going down that path. She tried to push it on me. I just rejected it. I couldn't do it, because you know in your subconscious mind that that's all part of the matrix. So you're not going to waste your time on it anymore. So you said, okay, you know what? I'm going to find my own path now, and I'm going to seek out this system of spirituality. And it starts to feel good to you. It starts to remember. You start to remember, you start to say, okay, this feels right. This is it. Yeah. So you're on the right path. A lot of people come back confused, and they don't know what to do because they're easily manipulated, because they don't want to read or learn. They don't want to remember. So they don't know what to do. They're lost. And usually, those kind of people become lost souls after death. They don't want to go to heaven because they know that ain't it. But they don't know where else to go because they didn't take the opportunity in this lifetime to learn, or nobody taught them, or they couldn't learn, or they were in a situation where They didn't have time to learn, you know. So they're kind of like lost and trapped, and they don't want to go here, and they're afraid to go there. So that's why a lot of people have to help them, you know, go back to the light. But they're sending them back to the matrix. You know, if I was a psychic that send ghosts back, or, you know, spirits back to where they need to go, I would say go into the darkness, y'all. I wouldn't say go into the light. I would say go into the darkness. That's why you're still here, because you tried to go into the light the last time and you came back, and now you don't want to go back into the light because you've been there and done that. So go into the darkness. And they would look at me like, thank you. And they might leave me something nice, you know, the lottery numbers or something. No, I'm just joking. No, you know, I always joke when I say stuff. But yeah, so that's all I wanted to put out in this video. Go to the darkness. Don't go to the light when you die. Okay? And oh, also that technique where you take your memories and your knowledge with you before you die. You don't have to wait until you get ready to die to do that. You know, you can practice that exercise and that visualization so that when it is your time to go, you will automatically do it. Okay, you will automatically do that, because you know, whenever you die and it's like sudden, like in a car accident, everything slows down. It's in slow motion. You have time to think. Your life flashes before your eyes. You have time to do this quick visualization to take everything with you. Okay. Also, if you're like dying in slow motion, not slow motion, but if you're dying, you know, if you're sick and you have time to sit and reflect and think, and you're like in a hospice or in a hospital, you do have time, then perfect. You can practice this visualization over and over and over, and when it's time, it will go automatically to where you need to go. Okay. And a lot of people say, well, what about the halls of Amenti and all that stuff? Yes, that's in the Emerald Tablets. You need to read that. That is not in the light. That's in the darkness. That's in the underworld. Remember, in the darkness. Okay, so if y'all have any questions about this, or want like a further explanation on, I'm trying to see. Okay, if you want like a further explanation on why you shouldn't go into the light, and why it's a trick, and why it's the matrix, and why some people see demons and stuff when they have near-death experiences, it's because their mind was subconsciously trained to see that after death. Just like you can subconsciously train your soul and your spirit to exit and take all of your knowledge, you can also train your soul to see a place that's not real. You know, you can also train your soul and your spirit. You can train that to see a fake heaven, to see a matrix heaven or a matrix hell, depending on how you judge yourself. You know, oh, I killed a bunch of people, I deserve to go to hell. Demons are going to get me when I die. So demons are going to come get you when you die. And because you created that in your mind, and you are going to go to a hell, and they are going to torture you until you're going to wake up the same as you did in heaven. You're going to be like, oh my God, this is fake. This ain't real. This is like a dream. You know what? This can't be it, you know. Some people get stuck there because people like to suffer for some reason. So when you finally wake up from that fake illusion, you come back and you say, okay, well, that didn't work. You know, I could have, you know, I need to see what else is there. So yeah, remember, it's what you create in your mind. Go into the darkness, not the light, because that's where the true creation is, in the darkness. That's where you can truly do something. Can't do something, you know, going back to the light. You can't do something in an exclusive club with a gate keeping you out if you weren't perfect. You can't do anything there. Okay, so thumbs up if you agree, thumbs up if you have something to add, and put it in the comments. Okay, I'll see y'all later. Bye. Okay, real quick, y'all. Yes, I straightened my hair. I haven't straightened it over a long time, but look how long it's grown. It's so long. But I miss my volume. I miss my stuff up here. Because when you flat iron it, it goes flat. So I miss my volume. But this is cute. And I'm always trying to play with it now that it's straight, but yeah, it looks kind of good. I need to clip my ends, but other than that, it's grown a lot since last year. So I'm happy about it. It's just too much hair. I got too much. Anyway, and it's doing this weird thing in my bangs. So thank y'all for watching so much. I will see y'all later, and have a blessed evening. Bye.